Alright, so I've reacted and I've had a lot of fun today. So, if you like this video, be sure you hit the like button. Also, be sure you subscribe so that way I can get up to 600 subs. Be sure you check out my pages as I've got a lot of other content and read my books. So, I hope to see you guys again soon. I will say this, for my wedding, like after I get married, I'm probably going to take a 3-month long trip away from YouTube for a while and try to go from there. But I'll still be available on all these other pages, and you can find me on there. So, with that being said, I love you, Lil Androids. God bless, and remember, this isn't goodbye forever. This is just goodbye for now. Peace out. Hello. Long time no see, am I right? It's been a while since I've made a video, about 3 months, 2.5, somewhere in that range. I decided to get a little made up because, I mean, it's a pretty big deal, I guess. First time on camera. Also the first video of 2024. Pretty exciting, right? Well, this is my new area. I officially got an office. So, recap. I made a reaction video on September 5th of last year, and it was very fun to do. And you know, shortly after that, I got married. So, a lot's happened, a lot, and, you know, I wish I could sit here and say, oh, well, I mean, this year was fantastic, and, you know, oh, I had so much fun and everything, and I would be lying if I'm being honest. This year, 2023, it was very hard. It was a very hard year. I had a lot going on. I had a lot of issues going on at my old job. A lot of drama, unnecessary drama. That was just ridiculous. So in August, I put in my 2 weeks, and I went from there. My dog, shortly before I got married, literally just 2 days before, she went blind, and there was a car, but, she went blind. She went into the neighbor's lawn. I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe she got poisoned. I'm not sure. I still don't really know. So I took her to the vet that next morning, and let me recap. It was I think it was September 6th that she went in the neighbor's yard, and then September 7th I took her to the vet. And the vet there, he basically just made it sound like she had cancer and that she was going to die and all this stuff. And, you know, I didn't know what to think because they've been so happy before, the vet in my area. They've done a lot of crazy things in the past, and so I just thought, well, maybe you guys are just trying to do it for extra money. I didn't really know. So I demanded a blood test, and it was like $200 for that blood test, and it came out that she had diabetes. So it was that very next day. I can remember because the vet sat there and he was so adamant about it being cancer. And I was like, you know, that can't be possible because, I mean, to be honest, she never had shown any symptoms, any signs. Cancer doesn't just come on like that, you know? And, yeah, she had diabetes. They actually kept that from me within like that whole day. They had kept it from me. And so it took my mom demanding them to tell me. Weirdly enough, but they told me finally. That was just a big situation. So then September 9th rolls around. I get married, and the wedding turned out really beautiful and it was really fun. To be honest, I barely remember it. Like, I mean, this is for another video. I plan on making another video about my wedding. This is more about what's been going on personally. But it was good. The honeymoon was very nice. We went right around the time of Rod Run. We went into this private cabin that was kind of off. It was an Airbnb. It was my first time ever like staying in one. So it was like right around the Jurassic boat ride that's in there. And it was very, I can remember it was very distant from everything. And you know, most people would probably think that's really fun and everything. I did up until at night when you would hear like a bunch of crazy motorists going around. I mean, during Rod Run, you kind of expect that. A bunch of crazy people coming around and everything, stirring up trouble. That's just expected. We had a family of skunks living under us, so that was a lot of fun. That whole time I was nervous about my dog. I was worried about Coco. And I was worried about my guinea pigs. I had missed them, and you know, I was really just ready to get home. I had some issues with birth control. I was taking the pill, and it caused a lot of issues for me in my body, and you know, it got really hard, a lot of it. And in April, I'm sure I made a video of this, but I got officially diagnosed with premenstrual dysphoric disorder, PMDD. So in June, I got prescribed Prozac. So I've been taking that, and it's actually helped. I mean, I've never really been the type to, you know, I mean, I know people take SSRIs, and that's fine, but I never saw me personally taking them. But honestly, it's really helped. It's done a lot better for me than, you know, like most of the other stuff I've tried, birth control being one of them. It caused a lot of issues. So then October rolls around, and my guinea pigs, they're all, you know, still trying to get used to the place. Coco's still trying to get used to the place. Even though she's blind, she's older, she was losing weight rapidly, and it was really hard to decipher, you know, what to do with her. So I just tried to let her enjoy life. I mean, I probably should have given her something, some form of treatment. I didn't have the money for it and everything, and I'm sure people are probably like, well, why didn't you just put her down and all this stuff? I didn't think anything was really wrong. So, anyway, my guinea pig Buckeye, he started developing GI stasis. And for those of you who doesn't know what that is, it's basically where like rabbits get it too. So guinea pigs, they eat a lot. They eat all the time. They are constant grazers. And when they stop eating, their organs shut down. So he started, not eating. He started puffing up. You could tell he wasn't feeling good. I was going to take him to the vet, and it was Sunday morning, and he passed away in my husband's arms. And it was very heartbreaking. I could tell that, he was really bloated. And so it was like, I just knew. I was like, this is his time. So, I was really having a hard time with that. And that was October 15th when that happened. So, Halloween came around, and I was just trying to enjoy the holiday. My brother was having some issues with romance, and I was trying to be there for him and to help him, and that all while just trying to grieve my guinea pig's death. It was a lot. And then November came around, and Gabriel started getting sick. And that was really hard for me. He was only 2, and so I was like, well, I need to get him to the vet this time and actually hurry. We go to the vet. He's got a URI, and he was going to take medicine and everything. I went with my mom and my grandmother. We went to Walmart. I remember we just stopped at Walmart for some reason, and he kept wanting to climb into my arms, and I was like, I was trying to just keep him in the box and try to keep him still and keep him calm, and he had a seizure, and he died in my arms. And it was November 10th when that happened, and it was also my husband's birthday. So, I was just trying to, enjoy his birthday and everything. I had made him a cake. So, I was trying to suffer through that. And then, November 16th came, and, well, November 15th, actually. Just 5 days after Gabriel. And I was trying to take pictures because I always do that for memorial. And Coco, she just wasn't acting right. She was really acting off, and something just told me, it was time. I had had Coco since 2010. We got her March 18th. I was 9 years old. She was a really good dog, and she was really there for me when I didn't have a lot. I can remember seeing her at Young Williams in Knoxville, and her name was Gracie. She had been abused by some people. I heard it was a frat party. I was too young to really understand what that meant, so she was a very good dog, very protective over my brother and me. I grew up with her. She was always there. So I just knew it was her time. I didn't want to get emotional, and I knew I would. So, but she
I knew she was going to leave, and I mean, I know this sounds horrible, and I still regret this, but I went to go and stay the night with my mother, and my husband stayed with her. And, I remember I woke up at around 3 something, and something just told me, she's gone. So, sure enough, she passed away on November 16th. I didn't know how dogs naturally go. And there were stains. I don't really want to get too much into that. But there were stains. And so I remember I was like wanting to bury her, and my husband wouldn't let me. My dad didn't either. They went out and buried her, and I remember coming in and watching them, bury her, and I was like, I felt awful because I wasn't there, in her final moments. And it was really hard. A part of me still wishes that, I could have been there. I should have been there. So, I was going through that. I was just trying to be okay. And then, I can remember I was leaving the house, and S'mores, I actually had him in a video once when he was younger. He was happy, he was in his cage, he was doing okay. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave. So I left. I went for a drive. To me, driving is kind of therapeutic for me. Just driving with the windows down, listening to music, screaming, singing, doing whatever. And that usually helps. So I was like, okay, this is nice. So I came back home. It was, I think, around 8 or 9. And I came in to check on them. And S'mores, he was just laying under the awning in the cage. And, I was like, he always slept like the dead. He was always the most heaviest sleeper. And I went down and I checked on him, and something just told me. I was like, no, please no. And he was gone. He had blood coming from his nose. And it looked like he had only been gone for a couple of hours. So I remember I was just like crying and holding him. I was like, what happened? And that was November 20th, 4 days after I lost my dog. And, it was so hard losing my animals in just the span of 2 months, I honestly don't know what's worse. The fact that you lose so many of your pets, I worked so hard on trying to, keep them healthy and everything. And then I had people just, it was very disregarded, everything that I went through. And it was really hard. And so I only have 3 guinea pigs left. Archie lives with my mother right now, and the reason why is because he has a mate, like a cage mate of his own. And when you separate guinea pigs, they can go into depression, and it's just not a good thing for them. So I've just decided to leave him over there, let him be happy with his friends, while I have Brownie and Humphrey here. I adopted Humphrey back in August. He was kind of like a last minute wedding gift, really, for my husband and me. I hadn't had a Peruvian or long haired guinea pig since Sheep and Bandit, so I was like, you know what, I'll just keep him. He was being bullied, so I was like, I have a big heart for animals. And so I was like, you know, if he's being bullied, I want to take him in. So that's what I did. I remember in December, my 23rd birthday. And you know, I thought with everything going on, I just didn't even want to celebrate. I just didn't. My birthday, I spent just laying in the bed, just existing. I mean, I couldn't do anything. But everyone kept insisting, you know, oh, you need to celebrate your birthday. Your birthday's important, blah, 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 which, I mean, nobody's ever really cared about my birthday before. So I was like, well, okay, if they want to celebrate, I guess. So I got dressed. I went to my parents' house and I got into a fight with my father. And it just got so bad that I just took off. I mean, you know how whenever you get angry, you just don't even know what to say, so you just want to leave the situation. Yeah, well, I did that. I took off. I forgot my phone. I just forgot everything. And I just took off because I can't even really remember what it was over, but it was just stupid. It was just a stupid fight. It was really hard, you know. Then, after my birthday, my guinea pig Brownie, he has a tumor in his right ear. I've already taken him to the vet and everything, got it cleared up. It's benign, meaning it's non-cancerous. So it's kind of like a skin tag in his ear. He can still hear out of it, but he scratched it. He has a problem with scratching his ears. So he scratched it and cut it in half. I was terrified because if you've never seen what a guinea pig looks like with an ear infection, it looks pretty scary. Like, it looks like they've broken their neck. So when I saw him, it was the morning after he had cut himself. He was like this with his neck just tilted and his eyes were just, they call them, what is it called? I want to say they're called record eyes or dishwasher eyes. I can't remember, but it just kept going and going and going, and it terrified me seeing him like that. And I was like, oh no, am I going to lose another one? So I remember calling my vet and I was like, I need help here. I don't know what to do in this. There's got to be something, anything. And he kind of just sympathized with me, and I think he could tell, you know, I was really at my limit and that I was really in a dark place. Honestly, I think I needed more help than Brownie did. So we came up with an idea to just put topic ointment in his ear, hoping that that would help. And I mean, I did this like 3 times a day, just trying to take care of him, trying to help his ear. I had to separate him and Humphrey to keep stress down and to just keep trouble down. So that's what I did. He slowly got better, and he still has a slight head tilt, but it's not as terrible as it was, which they said that would be expected. But I'm proud to say that he's doing all right for right now. Humphrey and him are back together. they they mostly fight over water and food and stuff, like guinea pigs. They're very territorial. um, so I've been in a really dark place these last few months. I wanted to make videos, but then I was like, no, you need a break. You need a break from this. But honestly, it was hard. And I'm not on here, trying to ask for sympathy, but wow, just looking back at everything, it was just, I was surviving. So then Christmas came along, and I really wasn't even in the mood for Christmas. Christmas is one of my favorite holidays, and honestly, I couldn't do it. Like, I was so just not in the mood for Christmas. I had my parents forcing me to come celebrate with them, even though I didn't want to. I was just so exhausted mentally and emotionally. I just felt tired. I told everyone, I'm like, all I want for Christmas is peace. I don't want any gifts. I don't care about that stuff. I just want peace. I just want my animals back. That's all I wanted. It's really hard to deal with grief. Everyone tells you, it gets easier and everything, but I had also lost my grandfather in 2021, and he passed away just a few days before Thanksgiving. And so that was really difficult. I didn't even want to celebrate Thanksgiving either, because I went to his grave and I just kind of stood there and talked with him. I mean, some people do that, other people do other things. I know it's been 2 years, but honestly, it just doesn't leave. It just kept going. So, pretty much all I did last year was just survive. That's all I knew to do. The last few weeks of December, I just tried to live. Just tried to, think about things. That dog flu thing came around. When that happened, it hit California. People claim it's not here in my state, but I mean, who knows, in all honesty. But I can remember telling my mom, I said, listen, I've lost Coco. I can't lose your dog too. Her dog is a little toy Yorkie, and he's 2, and he has a liver shunt. But I've been trying to take care of him and just trying to be there, because I don't know. I just try to think maybe I can try to right wrongs. I don't know. New Year's came around. Honestly, I wasn't really wanting to celebrate that either because of everything that had happened. I just felt just stuck and lost. Really, the only thing that really tried to comfort me was writing and fixing my house. That's really all I did. I've become a housewife, and I know that's like not really modern-esque, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot, especially when you're trying to fix up the house and everything. You probably can't see it, but this desk I built on my own. I tried to decorate this office as much as I can. It's an office / video room. It's just one of those things. Those I actually got from Christmas, and I just kind of put them in there. I also have all my Sonic stuff and all my drawings. Yeah. I mean, for those of you who follow me on Instagram, I really posted a lot on there, every little bit. I tried anyway. It was difficult. So, New Year's Eve, I can remember I made a cheesecake for everybody. Barely anyone ate it. And I was trying to help my husband with something. I think I was cutting it. And I was like, the dishwasher was down and open. So I totally forgot that was there. So I turn around on my right side and I trip and I fall. And, at the time it didn't hurt. I guess because, adrenaline is a very hectic drug, Let me see if I can show you guys up on here. I hope nobody thinks I'm trying to show off my leg or anything, but ouch. That's pretty much where I got bruised. Yeah. So there's that. And that was from just falling into a dishwasher. Weird, right? Yeah. I can remember it started really hurting like within like 10, 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, something's wrong. When I was a freshman, I had busted my kneecaps. And so I thought, oh, great. Did I do something to my knee now? So, it was painful. It was. And like this one in particular, this one is like been cut up because I think it fell into like where all the knives and forks and everything goes, all the utensils, because it fell in there. I can remember my calf got really cut up. It still hurts, but which at the time I'm recording this, it's January 4th. So far it's painful, but it's not. I've dealt with worse. So, there was that. But I remember saying, leave it to me to celebrate 2024 with a hurt leg. Like, what were the odds, So then the new year rolled around, and basically I've just been cleaning, working around the house. I don't really talk to people very much. I'm sure that sounds really weird. I'm just being honest. Yesterday was very fun. So I got a weather alert that, snow was coming. And one thing about the South, when you even hear about snow coming, like even just a little bit, just like an inch of snow, it becomes like World War III. Like, people attack people in aisles, they go crazy. So I told my husband, I said, maybe I should go grocery shopping and just get stuff while we can, because just in case, if a storm comes, better safe than sorry. So that's what I did yesterday. It took me like 2 hours just shopping around the place. There were people literally fighting to get into aisles. It was insane. It was like Black Friday and Christmas shopping put together. It's funny now, but man, yesterday it was very stressful because I was like, I need to get my stuff. I went into the egg aisle, the dairy aisle at Walmart. And in our Walmart, the eggs are right next to like the milk and stuff. So I was trying to go in there. They were all out of white eggs. Literally all out. They were gone. Like, it looked like someone took everything and left. And so I was like, okay, well, let me just look for brown eggs. It looked like someone had took a hammer or a mallet or something and just beat all of them into pulps. It was insane. The egg cartons were all mashed in, and I was like, what just happened in here? Who decided to go crazy in the store for eggs? So I found the last carton. It was actually decent. Yeah, and I can remember this woman, I could tell that she had kind of been new in the area, and she's like, what is going on? And I'm like, listen, it's just the threat of snow. When the threat of snow comes, people go crazy around here. So, that was definitely something. So, also, with birth control, one thing that I really wish that people would have told me about it was that, you know, there came to be like side effects and everything. I can remember shortly after taking it, I started gaining weight very quickly. Like, I was gaining like 3 pounds every other week, it felt like. And the heaviest, I was the heaviest I have ever been on birth control. Like, I was at almost 250. And that's like the heaviest I've ever been. And I'm not proud of it. So I was like, at that point, I kept trying to talk to people about it. I was like, this isn't normal. This is weird. And I even tried to talk to my doctor about it during my first exam. I kept trying to talk to her, and she was like, oh, it's going to take a while to get used to it and everything. And I was like, well, I don't know about this. So one thing was, from where I had lost Gabriel and then I lost Coco in the span of those few days, I kind of skipped, which you're not supposed to do. I'm not condoning that at all, but I did. And I noticed things were starting to, I started to drop almost immediately. And I was like, something is weird about this. And so I was like, maybe I need to go a different route. I need to try something else. So I tried to talk to my new doctor, because the doctor that prescribed me all this and diagnosed me, I was her last patient. And I didn't know that. So that's one thing, I wish I would have, found out more. I wish I definitely would have researched. So I guess if, before you take anything, just research it, because while people say, oh, it can do this to your body and it can do that, and you're only you. It doesn't matter what it does to Kevin or Joe or Susie or whoever. It doesn't matter. It's you. So I guess just research things before you just fully jump in and know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Kind of like how I did with my Prozac. I definitely researched it. I was really worried about it because, like I said earlier, I have never really seen myself being on SSRIs. I heard about them, but I was always afraid to try them because I come from, this is mostly like distant family, but a lot of family members have had addiction in the past. So while Prozac isn't exactly addictive, it did scare me a little, which I've never really been into substances. except Prozac. This is probably the most of a substance I've done. I was definitely a little anxious about it, trying it out. But I guess one thing I definitely learned in 2023 is life can happen so quickly, so fast that you don't even know what hit you. Life will come at you with fists and it'll beat you. I mean, I had lost so much in the span of 2 months. Like, I was getting beaten, it felt like. It was just one after another, and it kept spiraling, and I could feel myself, going back into this dark place that I had fought so hard to get out of. And I was like, just keep on trying, keep going, just survive, I kept on seeing a lot of people on like personal social media, a lot of people I knew talking about how good 2023 had been to them and going on, and I was like, I can't do this. So it was definitely a battle. 2023 was. I spent the first half wedding planning and working, trying to work on my books, trying to work on my videos, and I was going through a lot of drama in the workplace. A lot of it. Yeah, it was just a ton going on. I spent time doing that, wedding planning. Well, like I've said, that's for another video, but it was definitely very stressful. On top of, having people go on and on at work over stupid things, really. I had people who were old enough to be my mother, my grandmother even, and they were just, it was ridiculous. It was insane. It was really old. It got old fast. And I was like, I'm the type of person that doesn't like drama. I mean, I'll get into it every now and then, like, the situation with Dream and Gumball. I still, it's just absolutely bizarre, but, I got into that a little bit. I've started watching, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. None of this is sponsored, by the way, I'm just talking. I also kind of got into, there's some other drama that's happened recently. Whatever it is, I'm sure I got into it. Yeah, I watched a lot of August the Duck. So, August, thank you. Thanks for helping 2023 to be slightly decent. It wasn't, I mean, my year wasn't great, but kind of keeping up with the drama. Oh, Sniper Wolf. That's what it was. That was the drama I was talking about, where she doxed Jack's films. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, was that. And then Darman, he kind of got into some drama that here and there. Yeah, that was definitely something. But yeah, I want to thank August personally. Thank you. You really helped me with grieving. I just kind of watched your videos, just kind of binge watched them, because I was like, well, I might as well try to keep up with the flow somehow. So there was that. But that's pretty much all I did, really. I'm just, like I said, I'm not really into drama unless, I try to get into it, but, like, when it comes to bullying people, making fun of people, talking about them, like, oh, I heard so-and-so did this, and all this stupid bull crap. It's like, like, I've never been one for gossip. Never have been. I mean, I do complain a lot and I do rant a lot. I mean, that I will personally say. But I've never really been into the gossip scene. And, you know, when I just had that nonstop, it was like, I felt like I was in high school rather than at work. And, yeah, it was different. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, it was different. But I did have friends in there, I did, and you know, I do appreciate the times that I had with those friends. I did. I had a lot of good memories there. I had been there for like 3 years. Yeah. Yeah, 3 years. But you know, things got okay with that, like with the drama wise and everything. I just was like, I can't do all this at once with the wedding planning going on and all this other stuff. I just can't. So that's what I did. I put in my 2 weeks. I worked those 2 weeks. I even worked extra. So that's what I tried to do. Then I was having health issues with Coco, and I was dealing with my own issues with trying to maintain Prozac and trying to figure out what to do with my birth control. Because I was like, okay, something's really off here. But yeah, 2023 was definitely a battle. Like, aside from 2021 being really hard because I lost my grandfather, 2023 was pretty bad. It was definitely a year that was just full of stress. But, you know, it taught me that, you know, the world doesn't care about you. It doesn't. The world doesn't revolve around any of us. It doesn't revolve around nobody. And life is just, it's going to come at you. And it's going to beat you senseless. It's rough, you know? It's really rough. And it was very hard. But, you know, I've been in dark places before, and, you know, I've documented some of it on here. So I guess I'm making this video as not only a vlog or not only a, you know, I guess an emotional video, like Gone Emotional or whatever. If you are anything like me and you really have been through hell in 2023, like I did, just keep going. Just try to survive. I know that the holidays are very hard around that time of year. I know it's nowhere near Christmas now, but it was not too long ago. But the holidays suck. They do. They suck. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Holidays, they're not like, you know, on Hallmark movies where, you know, everyone's all happy-go-lucky and, you know, eating turkey and, you know, just being all chummy with each other. No. Holidays are a war to survive sometimes. Some people, they have the worst holidays ever. For some people, it's really their only way to survive. So, I guess what I'm trying to say here is, just keep going. I know that life sucks sometimes. It sucks. And it gets really rough. And you're just sitting there and you're like trying to hold on for dear life, wondering what in the world am I doing right now, while you're having everything kick at you and beat at you, and you're just sitting there like, what in God's name am I supposed to do? You know, that was me. I was definitely going through that. I was like really down and out. I was really having a hard time, just trying to adjust, trying to grieve, trying to, you know, suffer through the holidays and survive the holidays, all while just having to go through all that. And the world doesn't stop because you're grieving. It doesn't stop because you're sad. It doesn't stop because you're sick. It doesn't stop for anyone. And I know it's hard, whoever is going through hell on earth right now. I don't know who might be, but I'm hoping that maybe this video will let someone know, hey, I'm rooting for you. I mean, even if you feel like, you are alone and you don't have anywhere else to go to, and you feel absolutely stuck, and you just feel like, I'm done. I'm done. I just want to quit. I've been there. I was there. I was. And it took a lot to try to get out of it. I fought and fought. I don't really like saying this, so I'm a Christian, but I will say this. I fought like hell to get out of that. One thing about 2023 was, I don't know, Winston Churchill, he had made a quote. I don't know if people know who that is. Some people might, some people might not. I mean, it just depends on your age group, I guess. But Winston Churchill made this quote that said, if you're going through hell, keep going. And I have lived by that quote. That quote really kept me going all year. Just, trying. I mean, sometimes for a year, like if your year is going horrible, the best thing that you can sit there and say is, well, I survived it and I can keep going. Because I don't know what anyone might be going through right now, but just try to tell yourself, it'll get better. Try to surround yourself with things that you love, things that you like. Try a new video, try making a new food, try doing a new hobby, just anything to get out of that dark space, because sometimes once you get in that dark space, it's really hard to come back out. It's very hard. So just try your hardest to get out, because it's not fun being in there. It's not. It's not fun being in that area of time. So, please, whoever's watching this, just try to keep going. Try to, make goals for yourself. Make a plan, make a dream, make something. Even if you're going through absolute hell, do something with it. I guess kind of look at it like Castaway. Like, how the guy on there, how he had a hard time, trying to leave that whole place. But he tried to leave that island. He had stayed there for, I forget how long it was. I've only seen the movie once, but, he eventually built a raft, and he went back to the States, after being in an island. So if you're stranded, so to speak, if you're stranded in that dark space, build yourself a raft and get out of there. Because sometimes when no one is there to save you and you have no one else to turn to, try to be a hero for yourself instead of everyone else. I have a hard time with this too, because I'm a people pleaser myself. I try to be anyway, and it's really become a big pet peeve of mine. One of the personal things I can't stand about myself is that I try to be there for people. I'm pretty much a doormat a lot of the time, and it gets on my nerves. To myself, I'm like, why are you like this? Just save yourself, because sometimes you're going to have days when nobody's going to be there for you. people that you turn to, people that you trust, even your own family, even your own friends, sometimes they're just not going to be there for you. Sometimes, you just got to pull yourself out. And I know that if I can do it with everything that had happened, with all that stuff. And I know that, losing a pet is hard. And to me, I've always been like, it doesn't matter what type of pet that person had. I mean, if an animal dies, an animal dies, and, it's really sad. But I know that, if I can get out of that dark place, I know that whoever's watching this can too. So, normally I would end these videos with like, like and subscribe to the video and blah, 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 blah. I just hope that whoever's watching this gets something out of it. This isn't one of those videos where I'm like all happy-go-lucky. I usually try to show my realism to people. I usually try to be real with people on here because I would know that, personally, it's hard, It's hard to make friends. It's hard to, see what's really going on. So I always try to be real. But I really hope that this reaches somebody. But I guess I better get going. But I love you, little androids. God bless. It's so good to be back. Let's hope good things this year and the years to come. So just remember, this isn't goodbye forever. This is just goodbye for now. Bye.
Okay, so really quick, I wanted to talk about the curious case of Natalia Grace really quick. I was just going to give a little bit of my opinions because I've not watched all of it yet, but honestly, what I think of the whole thing is I think Natalia definitely deserved better, and that Christine and Michael are both guilty. Like, they are as guilty as sin. I mean, yeah, they were both guilty in different ways, but they're both guilty. And, Natalia didn't deserve all that. She never did. And, I try to think about, how she was just constantly abandoned and was abused. I mean, they didn't just abandon a child. They abandoned a child with disabilities. And because of that, she was fending for herself. And, Michael Barnett, he wants to play it off like, oh, I'm the victim. And, oh, well, Christine, she controlled me and all this stuff. And, as someone who has been in a controlling relationship, I do understand to a degree, but she didn't make you sign the papers to re-age Natalia. She didn't do that. And also, the fact that you not only have a DNA test, you have a birth certificate, and you've even met with the mother. Well, he didn't. Michael didn't meet with Anna, but, detectives did and everything. You would think that after all that, you would understand. I mean, Natalia is actually a year younger than my brother. My brother was born in 2002, and she was born in 2003. So it just amazes me that all this started because of pubic hair on a child. I mean, have they never heard of the term early bloomer? I don't have dwarfism. I don't. But I did grow pubic hair around 8 years old. And I started my period around 10. I was 10 years old. So just because, she had all that, just because she showed early signs of puberty and all this stuff, she was still a child. And what you did was wrong. And I'm sorry, but Michael Barnett can't just play himself the victim and, not take responsibility, because he is just as responsible. Him sitting there letting Christine do all that she did to her. I mean, that was a little girl that you did that to. And I hope and pray that, that they will get rehabilitated or get prison time. I'm just saying, they're not innocent in any of this. And Natalia, I wish I could just hug her and just explain to her, how sorry that, she deserves so much better. But yeah, you guys have a good night. Bye.